Hey guys, it's Cece, and I'm here with my second video of today to talk about all of the books that I want to read in July. I usually have at least some kind of theme for my TBRs during the month, but there is no theme here. They're completely all over the place. It's just books I want to read, so let's jump in and talk about them. First of all, I already read and finished a book in the month of July. I'm not going to review it, but that was Eat Your Heart Out by Dayna Ingram, which is an ebook about a lesbian main character and a zombie outbreak and her meeting up with her favorite movie star. I will review it at the end of the month, but that is already read and finished, which is making me feel pretty good. The next thing on my TBR is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzi Lee. So Gentleman's Guide is a brand new release. It just came out on June 30th, and I went to an author event here in Salt Lake, and I got this signed. So here is the signed page. It says, "To Cece, fortune favors the flirtatious," which is great. So this book takes place in the 1700s, and it is about a guy named Monty going on his grand tour of Europe, and he's going with his friend who he believes he has a very one-sided crush on, Percy. Here's how I heard this pitched to me initially, and what has made this my most anticipated release of 2017. It was first pitched to me as the 1700s gay road trip adventure novel you never knew you needed. Yes? What kind of sell is that? That's beautiful. So as far as I know, actually the main character, Monty, is bisexual, but beyond that, like, this sounds, it's supposed to be completely hysterical. It is supposed to be a great romance. I have wanted nothing but this book for months, and now I have it in my hands, and I'm starting it as soon as I finish filming this video. The next book I want to read is right here. So this month I also want to reread The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I read The Raven Boys, I think my first year on BookTube. Was it really 2 years ago? Yeah. And I liked it, but then I never continued on with the series, and I have forgotten everything about it. So I'm starting in on this one again so that I can hopefully jump in and read the next three, all of which I own. They're all down here. There's so much going on in The Raven Boys, I'm not even going to offer you a plot summary right now because even having read it, I don't have that firm a handle on the plot. There are Welsh kings and curses and psychics and friends and romances. A whole lot of people love it. My girlfriend Janelle read this entire series in 5 days, which is ridiculous, and then she immediately reread them, and so when I saw her when I was in New York, she gave me the entire series and was like, read these so I can talk to you about them. It's time for me to start on that endeavor. I'm also planning on reading at least the first volume of Miss Marvel. This one is called No Normal. I actually have all 4 volumes out from the library. Just got them because I was there and it was easier. I might continue on in the series if I love this first one. So this is a Marvel comic. It's about a girl named Kamala, and she suddenly gets superpowers. I've heard a ton of people say this is really fun and engaging. It also features a main character who's a superhero and is a Muslim girl, which, I mean, that sounds great. So after hearing all of the really positive things about this comic series and just happening across it when I was at my library, I decided it was time for me to give this one a try. My last 3 books on my list are all to do with challenges that I have for myself this year. So the first of those is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Shades of Magic trilogy, one of my absolute favorite series. The Shades of Magic trilogy involves parallel Londons and magic and adventure, and as the series has gone on, pirates. Great. I gave the first 2 books in the series 5 stars each, and I just been putting this one off due to its size. It is quite large, but it's time for me to read it. This is going to be for my challenge that I have to read at least one 2017 release every month. I mean, I guess I'm already doing that. It's fine. I really want to read this so I can finish the series and find out what's going to happen to Kel and the rest of these characters that I've fallen in love with. I also challenged myself to read at least 2 Agatha Christie books this year. I have read 0 Agatha Christie books this year, so I'm going to change that and start by reading And Then There Were None. I've already read a couple of other Agatha Christie books before, just not this year. I know absolutely nothing about the plot of And Then There Were None, which is how I want it. I don't like to go into mystery novels knowing anything. I just know that this is one of her most famous books. People love it almost universally, and I can't believe that I've made it this long not knowing remotely what the plot of this is, so I'm hoping I'm surprised and intrigued, and that I get to add another Agatha Christie book to my list of Agatha Christie books I have loved. And the last book on my TBR comes from my top 15 to read in 2017 TBR, which is a list of 15 books I have to read this year. I have challenged myself to read these 15 books for sure, and the one I'm going to be reading this month is The Lovely Bones, and this is by Alice Sebold. The reason it was on this TBR is that this is the book I've had on my Goodreads TBR for the longest. It's been on there for like 5 or 6 years. I know very little about this book as well. I know that it starts and the main character is already dead, and that she is looking down from heaven and observing the things that have happened since she has died. That's all I know, besides the fact that this is supposed to be really creepy and kind of upsetting. At least that's what I've heard about the movie, which I've also never seen. As soon as I read this, it will finally be time for me to watch this movie that I have put off watching for years and years of my life. Hoping I really like this. I've heard either really great things or really kind of middling things, so I'm not really sure where I'm gonna stand on it, but top 15 to read this year, and we're gonna check off another book from that list. Okay, there you go. Those are the 6 main books that I have planned for my TBR in the month of July. The 6 ones that I really want to read. What do you think of my choices? Please let me know in the comments below, as well as letting me know what maybe some of the books on your TBR this month are going to be. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!